Again, everyone, thank you so much for joining us today. We've got a great conversation with OnBoard. We know that association boards are under more pressure than ever, and member expectations are rising, governance standards are evolving, and that pace of change isn't slowing down. So we have got Jordan Castel with us today to do a showcase of OnBoard's governance platform that helps association boards and their teams that support them lead with a lot of clarity and confidence. And, Jordan, on the ABSI side, we had our board meeting last week and we use OnBoard and we are big fans. I think about all the information that we are collecting from various departments and people, and it's really nice to have it all in one place where you can send it to your board. They have opportunity to preview information. They can come with questions. So anyway, we're big fans of OnBoard here, but I will let you, nobody wants to hear me talk. I'll let you go.
To be honest, I could listen to, how it's being used in the real world for the next 30 minutes here instead of me talking. So thank you so much for that anecdote. And thank you so much
Yeah,
for using OnBoard in this opportunity here today.
absolutely.
So
Glad
I'm
you're
going to go
here.
ahead and get my screen shared here so we can get into some of the content. But again, thank you so much for everyone joining today. Thank you to ABSI, to ASAE for hosting us here. I know we do this on about a quarterly basis at this point, and I'm always looking forward to speaking with everyone and just getting a good state on what's going on in the world of associations. So I know we have limited time here. I'll take up about the next 25 minutes of your time and give you some time back here in your afternoon. But to get us started here today, again, welcome. Thank you for joining us. Have a great session in store. Again, as Destiny mentioned, to really walk you through how we are tackling some of the issues and items we're seeing in association governance today. To introduce myself, I'm our association consultant here at OnBoard. I've worked with ASAE and our partnership with ASAE over the last 5 years. I've served on various committees with ASAE as well. They've been a great partner in the association space. And again, can't thank them enough for this opportunity. Again, if you're not familiar with OnBoard, we are the world's first board intelligence platform, which we'll get into what that means here shortly. But again, our mission is simple. We want to make sure that all of your association board meetings, committee meetings, are as simplified as possible, as informed as possible, and as engaged as possible. So that way your decisions reflect the strategic needs of your membership. We serve a little over 2,000 associations and nonprofits today, with about 700 of those being associations, which we're super proud of. And again, couldn't do without the help of partners like ASAE. As Destiny mentioned, ASAE, ABSI utilize us for their board meetings, as well as some additional association leaders out there as well. So we'll get into what all of that means here shortly. So for today's call, here is what I have planned for today. Now, feel free to chime in as you have been doing here in the chat and the Q&A as we go along. But wanted to set the stage really today with just first of all, what I'm hearing, what I'm seeing from an association governance landscape. My days are spent talking to all of you association leaders out there that are on the ground floor. So how do we best support that? We'll jump into some of the challenges that we see across the association space today as it relates to your board's governance today. And then we'll talk about how OnBoard specifically addresses those. We'll get a little bit high level into our platform, some of the newer updates that we have as well, and what we're seeing again across the space here. And then time permitting, we'll jump into some questions and answers at the end there. But again, as we go along, as you have questions, feel free to jump into the chat, jump into the Q&A. More than happy to answer those as we go along. So without further ado, let's jump into what we're really seeing here within the association space. And if any of you joined our session last month for our association solution spotlight, some of this content might be familiar. There's some updates here, but really wanted to kind of address again what we're seeing. So, as far as the association landscape today, we're seeing, that member expectations continue to rise, and as they should. They should be able to expect more out of us. as an association here. But the problem being that as those expectations continue to rise, the pressures that we're seeing, the pressures that we're having to navigate continue to arise as well. I'm finding that boards are having to navigate, those traditional, conventional conversations around strategy and risk, revenue, those types of things, non-induced revenue, but now in a lot more unconventional, difficult ways due to the rate of new regulatory, political, technological pressures, which just continue to seem to arise here, which is really leading to that one consistent theme that we're seeing is that we have to be able to do more with less, which really seems to be kind of what's going on, in the world in general with AI, with the technology and again, the pressures that we're faced with today. Our initial session earlier this year, we conducted with McKinley Advisors. So if any of you were on that session, again, you may have seen some of the results of the survey that they've been conducting over the last 6 years that really just give us the state of the industry. But one of the more insightful, albeit maybe a little bit more concerning statistics and insights that came out of that survey was that this year more than ever, 11% of association executives said that they were very confident that their current business model will drive future financial success. So let that sink in for a moment. 89% are not fully confident really with, where we're going as an industry, what's going on in the world. So how do we tackle that? How do we ensure, again, that our boards are as informed as possible? That way we're able to be nimble and make decisions quickly, as we're faced with these new pressures. So with that, what challenges have arisen from these new pressures and from what we're facing, as an industry as a whole? Kind of some of the more consistent ones, but again, some newer ones as well that we're seeing still a consistent theme that board materials, processes, systems are scattered today. There's no single source of truth when it comes to our governance, to our policies, our bylaws. Everything is in disparate systems. And again, that knowledge pertains to the people that utilize that every single day there. Oops, and let me go back here. That's leading to just a lack of standardization when it comes to our document storage or management, our processes. I always like to say, ask two different committees, your finance committee and your executive committee, what systems they're using, what processes they're following, what their agendas look like, what their minutes look like. And more often than not, you're getting multiple answers, on what that looks like, which again, from a management standpoint, from a quickness to decision standpoint, how does that affect, kind of what that looks like? As always, board members, they're busy members. They volunteer for our boards because this is their area of expertise. This is what they're passionate about. So we have to make sure that we're meeting them where they're at and making their decisions easier to make instead of more cumbersome, as it relates to those decisions today. And we're just finding that more and more leadership, our staff, our boards are all getting bogged down again with the aforementioned pressures, with just everything going on in the world today. And then specifically with the advent of AI, there's a lot of questions and concerns around the usage and the policy around those today. But we're finding that gap isn't standing still. That 82% of associations reported redistributing that workload. And in our board effectiveness survey that OnBoard runs every single year, we found that 92% of directors are currently using AI for board work, up from 69% last year. All while in a lot of cases, we're not seeing policy developed around that. So we have to ensure that we're doing that in a secure manner and we're providing really a safe space to be able to utilize these new technologies, but in a way that's safe to our association. So we'll cover some of that as we go through here today. So to get more specifically into why associations are using OnBoard today, why they trust OnBoard today. Again, it comes down to the level of support that we offer to allow that, again, you have industry specific experts here on our side that make sure that your board, your committees, your staff all know exactly what to expect with OnBoard. And if something does go wrong, you know exactly who to reach out to. That's all bolstered by best in class security. And again, that support that we discussed there as well. You can see some of the names that use us here in that 700 plus association space. Again, along with names like ASAE and ABSI as well. And then we'll get into this within the platform today, just to give you a quick snapshot of what we've been working on, really where we see the industry going, as well as it relates to AI. How do we put that in a secure context that makes your board work more informed, your staff work more efficient? And again, it provides you that institutional knowledge that as board members come up to their term, you don't lose all of that knowledge, all of that important context behind why they're making decisions, as they leave your board today. So without further ado, we'll hop over to the platform here. We'll take a look around for about the next 10, 15 minutes here, and then answer any questions that you might have. So let me make sure I'm sharing the right screen at this point here, and we will jump into it. So as we look into OnBoard today, this first screen here, as we get into the platform, again, the system's really designed to ensure that everything that you need to conduct, from communications to your board members being able to access their meetings, their important decisions, their bylaws, the policies, that's all on one pane of glass. No longer am I having to go to email, to Slack, to PDF, to SharePoints. Again, that's all housed here within OnBoard. My first screen is going to be my dashboard. Again, this is going to be all of my most important information. I can quickly see, hey, I have an upcoming board meeting. I can jump into the materials. I can review the agenda. Any important actions that I need to take, again, as those decisions relate to our association and being nimble with those decisions, that's all right there in front of me. The rest can really, again, how I want to communicate with my board, with my committees today, I can really set up my dashboard so it fosters that collaboration, it fosters that communication all in one place. So I'm logging in once, everything I need to know is right there in front of me. We talked about the advent of AI. This is really where, again, in a secure environment that's secure to your specific association, this is where we can help your board members better prepare, more quickly prepare for these upcoming meetings. If I quickly want to see, hey, what do I need to plan on from a board meeting standpoint? What upcoming meetings do I have? Help me summarize things like the book, the agenda. Let me know what we're going to be discussing within these meetings. I have that context right here at my fingertips through OnBoard's AI here within the platform. From there, I can jump directly into this meeting and start to see, hey, again, here's everything that I need to know as it relates to my board meetings today. From a admin standpoint, from a staff standpoint, again, we want to simplify that whole process. So again, everything can be controlled directly from here. I can publish my meetings directly from here as we have that information available. Your board members have the ability to integrate their calendar here as well. So when I publish something in OnBoard, I don't have to worry about, hey, did I copy that link into my Outlook calendar? Did I send that out as an email? Is that in a shared site that people can grab? That automatically gets placed on your board's calendars for them to be able to access here within OnBoard. We offer things like our Zoom and our Teams integration, where I can not only set up those meetings directly from OnBoard, but access those as well. When it comes to my material creation, my agenda, my book, anything that's going into this specific meeting. We don't want our time spent having to convert documents today, pull that all into a PDF, build out our table of contents, paginate the book, only for something to change and we have to redo all of that. The system recognizes all of that, and it's really as simple as just dragging in the agenda that I want to use or building that section by section here within the platform, dragging in the respective materials to their agenda section. That's where OnBoard is creating those materials for you. It's updating those changes as you go along, so I don't have to remember or worry that, hey, are all of our board members on the same version today? Are they all looking at the same thing? I can be confident with OnBoard that when I log in and I open my book, everyone's looking at the same materials. Everyone's looking at the same agenda. Everyone's looking, again, at the same table of contents, the same order of documents here. And it's all navigatable here within the platform. So if I need to jump to a specific document, if I need to scroll page by page here within the platform, I have the ability to do so. Along those AI features as well, again, we want to make this as informed and as easy for your board members to use as possible and be able to make decisions quickly on the fly. So again, that assist AI here is available for me within my book as well. So if I need to start to summarize, what do I need to plan on? What items are we discussing within these specific areas within my packet here? Again, I have that OnBoard AI here within OnBoard to quickly be able to make those decisions. then backing back out here. Again, the rest of the information that I need for this meeting is right in here, along with analytics, again, on how are we communicating with our board, what's resonating, what's not, where are we spending enough time, where are we not spending enough time here within the platform. And then again, that brings us into our AI features here as well. So our Insights AI really starts to break down how are these conversations going? Where do we see gaps with our board meetings today? Where can we use the data that we have with how our meetings are running to ensure that we're running the most effective meetings? We're getting the most strategic decisions out of our meetings every single time here. And this is all generated from this meeting, as well as your minutes directly here within the platform as well. So we offer our Minutes AI, which I won't get it too much into the back end with that, but that really allows the system to help create that first draft of minutes. So once these are published, again, I have all of that information directly at my fingertips as an admin, as a board member. If I need to go back in the future, review any of this material, it's all here archived within OnBoard. And again, that stays within the system. So that way, if we do turn over the board, if somebody leaves the organization, all of that institutional knowledge doesn't leave with them. So I'm going to stop there just for a moment, just to monitor the chat here, monitor any of the questions that we might have had come in here before we jump into some of the additional sections here. So I see some questions coming in as far as AI features included, or the add-on features. We'll get to that in the Q&A as well. There's a little bit of both, so there's some nuance behind that, but we can certainly cover that here at the end. So again, going down my pane of glass here, the single source of truth, again, as we talk about having everything in one place, I have unlimited storage within OnBoard as well. So this can really become that central source for all of my documentation, for all of my helpful materials for my board. If I want to have a minutes folder that all of those minutes drop into, whether that's for audit purposes, whether, again, just for historical data, I have all of that information right here within OnBoard. If I need to build out my policies and bylaws, again, I can just drag and drop what I need to in here. We offer our Microsoft 365 integration that allows those with admin edit rights to be able to collaborate on those documents, make changes on those documents here within the platform. So I'm not worrying about, again, multiple versions, living across multiple systems, living across multiple points of record. This becomes that central point of record for all of that important information here. We mentioned our actions. Again, this is where I can quickly get those decisions from my board, everything from approvals. So if I need to send something out in between board meetings and I can't wait till that next board meeting to get a resolution on something. Again, I can send that vote out to my board, allow them to vote directly here within the system. I can see those updates as they come in, so I can quickly pass, deny, table any of those important motions that we need to send out there. I need to survey my members. If I need to get document signatures, again, those are all right here at my fingertips, even going into some of those annual compliance items that we see. So our director and officer questionnaires, or our conflict of interest forms, our board assessments. If we're starting to, again, really better understand, how our board is working today, we really want to see that year in and year out. We have the ability to conduct those here within the system and really get all of that data in one place. From a fostering collaboration standpoint, we allow for your board and for whomever else within the system here to have conversations directly from the platform here. So again, if I need to discuss things, I need to utilize this outside of board meetings, and I really need to have those conversations more than quarterly, more than twice a year, I can foster that collaboration here within the system. Bolster that with tasks as well, so I can really utilize the system to stay on top of the items that are outstanding, both leading up to meetings and post-meeting as well. And then lastly, the system's really designed, again, around the feedback that we've received from the industries that we work within, the association space being a real crucial point, specifically around our directory here. A lot of the features that you'll see came out of the feedback that we got from our nonprofit and association customers here. So again, within any of my member profiles, I have the ability to capture a lot of information, things we're seeing tracked on Excel sheets, or again, across multiple systems today. So everything from demographics to skills or competencies, or just custom reporting here within the system, all the way to being able to track those roles and terms. Again, that handy Excel sheet that's floating around, How nice would it be to be able to get rid of that, have a system that lets me know, hey, this individual member, they're coming up on their term. Here are the members that you need to plan on that are on their last term or who recently ended, what roles they held with that specific group as well. So I can quickly take out the guesswork, of that portion of our governance today and have all of that at my fingertips. So I can quickly see, here's where we need a plan across the board. As it comes to succession or recruitment for the board, I can navigate over to my skills tracking, quickly see, here's where we're strong, here's where we're light, maybe we have some areas of opportunity. Again, that's all right here at my fingertips. So again, following that consistent theme, that let's take the guesswork out of our governance today. Let's ensure that everything's in one place so it's efficiently accessed. Decisions can quickly be made with all of the data that I need. Again, right here at my fingertips, and everything's secure here within OnBoard. So I don't have to worry about the liability of managing multiple systems or information leaving with specific directors. That's all controllable by the association here within OnBoard. So we have about 5 minutes left here. So I want to open this up to any additional questions that we might have around the platform. I know that's a quick run through of what we see today, what we have to offer. More than happy to conduct additional demonstrations, explore any specific use cases with you. I'll pull up my information here. So if you do want to book any time, there's my QR code and my meetings today. But we'll look through the questions here. So the AI features, certain ones are included, certain ones are additional. So that assist AI, that little chat within the platform that we discussed here. So this little meeting here, that's one of the ones that's included here within the system. When we get a little bit more specific around the insights, the minutes, that's where those are additional features where you can really customize, again, what makes sense and what doesn't. And that's one of the beauties with OnBoard, is that it's not an all or nothing system. We meet you where you're at from a feature standpoint, from a use case standpoint, where you want to be, allow you to grow with us, as we grow as a company here. Is there an option to have two separate boards, dashboard under one main umbrella, for example, a board and junior advisory board? So yes, great question. Within my directory, again, all of my groups in here, I can set up as many groups as I'd like, multiple boards, and the system's permission-based, meaning it curates based off of my role and what I have access to within the system. So when I log in and I'm part of just that junior advisory board, or I'm part of the overall board, I'm only seeing the information that's relevant to those specific groups here within the platform. Same goes with committees, and this really ties together that committee workflow as well, where our committees can manage their meetings, have that consistent process across all of our committees, and that workflow flows from committees to board and back to committees, utilizing the platform here as well. You see who has downloaded a board packet. So we do have options around that. It's not in the specific analytics. This is more so giving you kind of overall, how are we looking as a board? And I can see, where we're, viewing the book, a percentage of who's viewing. We do have some security features that are available that give you some more of that specific, auditable data of who's downloading the packets and who's not, and what's being accessed within the system as well. See if we have any additional questions. So from a slide perspective, yes, we will share all of the slides as well. Let me go ahead and pull this back up here as we have a couple minutes left here before we wrap up. So any additional questions, anything else that anyone's curious about here? Again, I know it's a lot of information in a short amount of time, so more than happy to answer any of these offline as well. Is the security such that association documents do not get called by external AI platforms? That is a great question, and that is exactly correct. So again, everything within the system is secure to your platform. It doesn't feed out from OnBoard into any LLMs. It doesn't feed in from any LLMs as well. It's all secure to your specific association. And even if you have, multiple boards that you serve or multiple organizations that you're managing through OnBoard, those are all bifurcated as well. So everything is secure specifically to your specific association. Awesome. Well, I see we're about at time here. So I want to wrap up and thank everyone again for joining, taking some time out of your day to learn a little bit more about what we're seeing in the association space, how we're addressing those specific pressures that we're seeing. Again, as always, I would like to thank Destiny, ABSI, ASAE for this wonderful opportunity to connect with the association space. Again, all of my information's here. We'll share this information afterwards. But as you have questions, again, as you want to collaborate on any of the use cases that you have in your real world scenarios today, certainly feel free to shoot me an email, schedule some time with me. I'm more than happy to help out where I can.
Jordan, there is one question that just popped up that you might not have seen. It asked if can this be set up with SSO?
It can be set up with SSO, yes. So any SAML provider today we integrate with, and we also do OIDC on specific occasions as well.
Fantastic. All right, great group, great questions. Thank you everybody for attending. Jordan, thank you so much for your time today. Like I said, I'm a big fan of OnBoard and the platform. So many great things in managing your boards and committees. It makes it so nice and easy. So, but yeah, everyone have a fantastic rest of your week. Like I said in the chat, you will be receiving a recording of this in the next couple of days. And we look forward to seeing you at our next webinar. Have a fantastic day.